With the government shutdown, businesses are stepping up to help. One local owner says he just wants to support his community. One Washington town lost its entire police department. Now city leaders are coming together to talk about what's next. Lawmakers in Olympia may soon be able to settle long debated issues. They are looking into tobacco and deadly force.
5 a.m. on our Wednesday morning. Welcome to KREM 2 Morning News. I'm Jen York.
And I'm Brittany Bailey. Another chilly start to our day, that is for sure. It's a little bit of one of those copy and paste days, right? Very much like yesterday morning. You'll definitely want to bundle up out there. We will send things over to Evan Arani now in the Weather Center this morning. He has more on that Wednesday weather forecast.
Yeah, and for our Wednesday, it looks like we're staying dry for one final day before another round of rain and snow makes its way in. We are dealing with some moderate wind speeds outside to start off our Wednesday. You can see outside double-digit wind speeds along the Idaho and Washington border. We see 13 mile per hour winds in Coeur d'Alene right now, single digits as you move towards Spokane. But as we go on with the rest of the day, this is, as we mentioned, going to do a good job of kind of inhibiting the development of any of that fog. Along with it, though, it does make for some chilly temperatures. These are those feels-like temperatures when you factor in the wind chill. We've got 10 degrees in Coeur d'Alene, 17 in Spokane, and 15 in Sandpoint. So if it doesn't actually feel like the 26 degrees that it is thanks to the wind outside. Now, over the next 3 days, we are going to be seeing some changes in the weather pattern. Today, mostly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, we see rain and snow move in, beginning in the morning hours, continuing through the afternoon. And it looks like there's a good chance that a lot of those showers are going to continue on through Friday. But those temperatures are going to be rising above the freezing point at certain points in the day, which means that we could be looking at a mix of rain and snow, or maybe even some freezing rain as the day goes on. So we'll keep an eye on that as your Thursday approaches and talk about that more coming up. Amber Rustbashon is going to let us know what it looks like to start off our Wednesday morning. Hi, Amber.
Evan, good morning. Well, it's looking like a pretty quiet commute right now at 5:01. So if you are about to hit the road, you shouldn't have any problems speed-wise because we're not tracking any major delays or congestion. So again, normal speeds across the board. But I will keep an eye out in case traffic does start to pick up. That's all I have for now, so I will go ahead and send it back to the studio.
Amber, thank you. Authorities on the west side are investigating after 3 people were found dead in a Sammamish home. Deputies were originally sent to the home on a welfare check. That was after a relative from Oregon called to say the family members could not be reached.
Authorities from the King County Sheriff's Office say deputies discovered the bodies of an elderly woman, an elderly man, and a man in his 30s. Deputies say the incident is being investigated as a murder-suicide.
The man accused of killing a 3-year-old girl and stabbing 8 others at a Boise apartment is trying to change his name. 30-year-old Timmy Kinner filed a request to change his name to Eternal Love. He made that request in a handwritten petition. Kinner wrote that he wanted to make the switch because it was his God-given right. He also said it was the name by which he wanted to be remembered.
Kinner also asked the court to waive fees associated with the name change. The petition is set to go before a judge in March.
City leaders in Tonasket came together once again to talk about law enforcement. This all comes after the mayor recently disbanded the entire police department. Now, about 60 people were at the meeting. That includes members of the Tonasket Public Safety Committee. The mayor has also taken heat lately after one of the former officers said he was asked to change his name. His name is Jose, but he says he was asked to change it to Joseph because his name sounded too Hispanic.
The mayor insists he will not resign. He said this even after 2 city council members cast votes of no confidence against him. Now, at this point, the city is weighing whether to create a new department or contract with the city. Council members are expected to discuss the options at the regular meeting next Tuesday.
Coming up on 5:04, White House economists say the partial government shutdown is having a greater economic impact than previously thought. This all comes from the Council of Economic Advisors. Members say the shutdown is costing the U.S. economy a little more than 0.1 percentage point in growth every week. That is more than double what was first estimated.
There are people who are having trouble making their rent payments, who aren't able to go out and go to a restaurant or something, and those are permanent hits to consumption.
800,000 federal employees are either furloughed or working without pay. That includes 42,000 Coast Guard members who missed their first paycheck yesterday.
Now, back in Washington, D.C., both sides are still split on funding for the border wall. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he will not hold any votes that do not have the president's support. Senate and House leaders say they will cancel the Martin Luther King Day recess if the government does not reopen by then.
The IRS is calling back some of its workers. About 46,000 employees will return to work during the government shutdown. That is nearly 60% of its workforce. Employees will handle tax returns and pay out refunds.
Furloughed employees are heading back to work, but they will not get paid until the shutdown ends. The Trump administration has promised taxpayers that they will get their refunds on time. The official start of the tax filing season is January 28th.
A local produce market is stepping up to help those feeling the impact of the government shutdown. The owner says it's just his way of thanking the community.
KREM 2's Kiera Elfallen is live in Hilliard this morning with more on what the shop is doing. Good morning, Kiera.
Yes, good morning. Well, Green's Fresh Market has been here in downtown Hilliard for a little over a year and a half now. It is well known for its low prices, but also its Facebook page. But it's what the owner posted on the Facebook page that's getting a lot of attention this morning. The store is offering a $30 credit to those affected by the government shutdown. All they ask is that you bring a valid ID and proof of employment. Jack Green is the owner of Green's Fresh Market. Green wants people to know that he's not doing this out of charity. He says he just hopes people can get the things they need to hold them over, and then they can pay him back later. Green says this is his way of supporting a community that has always supported his small business.
With this government shutdown, there's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck, and we just wanted to, kind of our way of saying thank you to them for supporting us. We just wanted to, help kind of give them a little support.
Green says his daughter actually came up with the idea. He says it's not about politics or who's right or who's wrong, but that the government workers didn't ask for this. Green just wants to be there for his customers when they need him. He doesn't know how long he will carry on this offer, saying it will all boil down to his cost. Now, Green wants people to know that he's often helping the community in any way he can. He donates to women's and children's shelters, homeless shelters, and also donates food to soup kitchens as well. For now, I'm live here in Hilliard. Kiera Elfallen, KREM 2 News.
Every little bit counts, and you just put it out on social media, asking if anyone needed help, and hopefully people who need those resources will take advantage of that.
It's nice to see a community, neighbors helping neighbors. That's always heartwarming to see, that's for sure.
Kiera, thank you so much. It is 5:07 now. The legislature is back in session in Olympia this week, and state lawmakers are already making progress on issues that appear to have bipartisan support.
We believe this new deadly force standard, clarified and agreed upon, provides a clear and objective standard that can be clearly understood.
The move to amend Initiative 940, which focuses on police use of deadly force, is getting early action at the Capitol. The initiative already has bipartisan support. Both sides of the issue have been working with lawmakers to clarify the legal aspects. This is happening while still requiring de-escalation tactics as part of police training.
Lawmakers may also raise the tobacco and vaping purchase age to 21. They heard testimony from someone who was addicted to vaping at age 15.
My best friend, who was a varsity athlete, offered me a Captain Crunch flavored e-cigarette. It doesn't look like a cigarette. It's beautifully chrome colored and it smells absolutely amazing.
Attorney General Bob Ferguson says this is the year the bill could pass. Rescuers were able to reach a climber who was stranded on Mount Hood. The climber got into trouble after encountering whiteout conditions. He was 1.5 miles from the top of Palmer Glacier. A helicopter with our sister station in Portland helped to find him. The hiker was turned around and needed help, but rescuers say he is a good example of someone who was prepared for a worst-case scenario.
Just before I left the house, I went back in the house and got my huge down coat, just in case.
As soon as he realized he was in trouble, he stopped and he called for help, and that meant that he was in a much easier location for us to get to, and it made today wrap up a lot more simply.
Well, the hiker was an experienced climber. He said he has gone up Mount Hood more than 180 times. He was not hurt on the hike, and he says he will be out there again next week. Pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, it's good he was prepared.
Yeah.
If he had to get lost like that and stuck, he did all the right things after that.
5:09 now. Spokane native Steve Gleason will soon have a local research institute in his name. Washington State University Spokane just announced the Steve Gleason Institute for Neuroscience.
Now, the goal of the institute is to develop care and cures for brain diseases such as ALS. The school's chancellor says the Gleason Institute will have WSU researchers working alongside healthcare providers to bridge the gap between care and potential treatments.
Gleason played football at WSU. He went on to become a fan favorite with the New Orleans Saints. He was diagnosed with ALS in 2011. Gleason's longtime friend Tony Hazel is hopeful about the future of research, and he applauds Gleason for fueling the fight against the devastating disease.
And I think he does know that he's had a significant impact. I think that helps keep him going, and he remains optimistic. And I won't be surprised at this point if we find a cure for ALS, given what I've seen so far.
The Gleason Institute is expected to open in the second half of this year at the south end of the University District Gateway Bridge.
We just see the universities keep expanding and expanding here in Spokane.
And, you know, I love to see that not only expanding to students and new programs, but for research. I think that's so important. So it's great to see that.
Well, it's safe to say Washington State Cougar fans are pretty proud of quarterback Gardner Minshew. He led the Cougars to a school record, ending the season at 11-2 last football season. Now, his efforts are being recognized.
Minshew was just named a finalist for the 2018 Lombardi Award. That award is handed out to the best college football player. It is based on skill, knowledge, and disposition. Minshew is going up against 6 other student athletes from around the country. That award ceremony is next Friday in Houston, Texas.
No, just give him the award already.
We'll have to keep our fingers crossed till then. Well, esports will soon have a home at the University of Washington. The university is adding a new esports arena and gaming lounge. It will be housed in the school's Husky Union building.
The 1,000-square-foot gaming center is set to open this spring. It will be partially funded by the student technology fee.
All right, gaming is everywhere these days, even in our universities. Time now coming up on 5:12. Well, many people are calling it a space snowman. NASA just released video of its latest mission.
Adorable bear brothers just reached a milestone. A Seattle zoo is helping them celebrate.
And our next round of rain and snow is going to be making its way in within 24 hours. We'll let you know what your final day of dry weather means and how long that rain and snow is going to last after the break.